I moved to Canada alone with my 3 children as an international student. No agent, no sponsor, just me, my 3 children, and the dream. Here is how I handled our entire immigration process, step by step. My name is Rita Ubebo, ni Enajapo. This is the Widow's Mite. So this next series of videos I'll be posting will be getting the appropriate degree to come and do abroad if you want to come abroad, getting the right school in the right region. Canada is a very big country, so where you want to stay matters, and getting all your documentations right. We're not talking about agents, we're talking about you doing it yourself, getting all your documentations right, getting the admission eventually, and all the pre-landing processes. So this is just the part 1 of the video. So I'll start by saying that, first of all, I used to work in the bank. So I had cracked my brain. I want to remain relevant when I get here. I am not sure I want to work at the bank in this country, but my desire was to come in here with all 3 of my children and start a new life. What did we do? Going to search what are what kind of jobs, what kind of professions are still trending as at the time I came in 2016. Yes, so I got something that had to do with data management, that had to do with information. I remember working in the bank where it was a struggle to do a report every month. We have to redo, spool again. So I remember also working with IT to say, hey, why can't we get these reports all automated? Once it's end of the month, it's pulled. I click a button as a manager and it goes through this process instead of me to keep redoing every month. I remember IT said, oh, madam, that's a good idea. So we tried to do it after that. So for me, that was the beginning of coming to an environment to work in any organization that my skills will be relevant at all times. So I didn't have to remain in the bank. Yeah. So when I started my journey, I picked to do a degree that would make me relevant. And so I selected the Master's in Library and Information Studies, which has been changed now to Master's in Information. Secondly, I started looking for the school. Now, in Canada, there are what they call Designated Learning Institutions, DLI. And then those are the ones that can take international students. So what I did, I wanted a place of Canada, a part of Canada that would give me the Lagos effect. I'm a Lagos girl. I was born in Port Harcourt Rivers, so I'm used to water. I didn't want to live my water life, so I chose the Atlantic region, and I got admission with Dalhousie University. Now, to get the admission, I said in one of my previous videos, I've been told I needed to do the language exam, and I'm like, no, I already have 2 degrees in Nigeria. Plus, I've worked all my life in Nigeria. Nigeria speaks English as a first language. So that for me, I made a case with my department. I'm coming to do a master's, and I already had a master's plus a first degree, and I've worked in the bank here for over almost 20 years. So I don't think English should be my problem. So they made me do a long essay or long essays. So had over 30 questions which I had to answer with write-ups. That was how I got my admission. Now, before you get the admission, you need to go to what they call sending, since I had a degree before, sending your degree through the West. I think that's where West, yeah. Now, that process, you need to go to your school back in Nigeria, and get your transcript. The transcript is the degree. They send it straight to West. You pay for it. The process was kind of cumbersome, but we went through it. You do that, you send to West. West sends the report or their findings to the school that you have, the designated learning institution that you have chosen. That was Dalhousie University. I got my admission, got the degree. It was for 2 years, 24 months. Now, I said in my previous videos, there are different kinds of admission for different kinds of people. I'm coming with a family, so I needed to do something that would help me bring my family. So I had to do a 2 years course. Came in, as at that time, I needed to just accept the admission with about $200, pay down, which forms part of tuition. But today it's 50%. You have to pay 50% before you come in. That makes sense because a lot of things have happened in between that time I came and now. So it's November 2024. Government of Canada changed the process for international students. The way it goes now is you find the school gives you different communications about why you want the school there, checks your financial status, if you're able to pay the tuition of that school. This is the preamble to getting an admission today. So you get a guarantor in Nigeria, your parent, uncle, anybody, they back you up. They will say that they know you, they can vouch for you, and they are sponsor. They are guaranteeing that your tuition will be paid. After that, you ask for a resident in Canada who is able to also be a sponsor, local sponsor. When you land, they will give their bank details, give everything about themselves to say, we are this person's sponsor. So likelihood, you may need to get a person who knows your family very well. So that person gives them financial proof that they are here, they are working, what they're doing. And of course, that is another document. So you have two documents. Now you've written to the school, you've asked for admission process. This is the process. You've gotten your guarantor, you've got your sponsor who is a resident in Canada. Then the school now works with the government, with immigration. The school gives your documents to the province, and the province gives the school a provincial attestation letter, what's called a PAL. That is to tell the school that go ahead, this person qualifies, meets all the criteria to get admission into your university. And of course, that is now used to issue you an admission, a tentative admission, which of course you're obliged to accept. Then you use that letter and go for your you use the letter, that PAL, add it to your other documentations to now ask for study visa from the Canadian embassy in your local country. Now, this process started just November of 2024. And so just a backdrop to this. For instance, government says they are going to bring in 30,000 international students this year from different countries. What will happen now is government going to say, okay, different provinces, we're going to give them different quota. Maybe Alberta has 5,000, Ontario may have 4,000, Nova Scotia will have 1,000. The government has their discretion is at their discretion. From that provincial quota that the government has given to maybe Alberta now says we have 30 universities. We're going to split this 5,000 students we've been allocated by the federal government. They will now split according to the universities and their sizes. So now, not all universities are designated universities going forward from effective last year. So when you're looking for admission, go and check the DLIs before you come to start pursuing a program in that place to get admission. You have to get it right. If not, you get admission from a strange university, you get to the embassy, in fact, you can't even get the admission because they are not qualified to give you admission at that level. Some universities are just there for diplomas, others for first degree, others for masters, others for PhD, others have a combination of all, depending on the size of the university. Yeah, so that's what you get the PAL. You add your documents, you go do your medicals, and send your documents to your local, the Canadian embassy in your local place. Yes, that is now be like what you call a drop box. You go there, then you come back to do your biometrics. That means you have now been. So now automatically, this whole process, this new process, cuts short all the waiting time for Nigeria. As a country, we do like 4, 5, 6 months to get ordinary study visa after you've got admission. But now the process has changed. The immigration in Canada is working with the province and is working with the university. All three add together will give you that PAL. Remember the provincial attestation letter they give to the university. University now issues you an admission. That admission letter is now from 50% of your documentation to come to this country as an international student. And so you're sending that to the embassy in your country, and they are mandated to give you study visa. So no more rejections. Because remember, the government is working with immigration with the school. So there's nothing like you went to get admission and you were rejected. It doesn't happen again. In 2 weeks, you get your admission letter. So that is the process. In my time, like I said, it's different. So I'll try to match what happened in my time, but the process for landing has not changed. Before you land, like I said, this video is going to have follow-up. So try to watch this and watch the ones coming, because this one now, before you land, what did I do? After getting the admission, I have my resumption date. I'm packing myself together back home. But more importantly, I'm working directly with my school. Because now, remember, to get the admission, you have an account in the school's name. They tell you when the landing time is for international students. They give you pre-hostels. So for instance, there was the Peter Green Hall. Most universities have halls for international students with family. So you'll be on the queue for those kind of halls. But for instance, sometimes some people they get the rents. They are taken into those residents before they even land. But in my case, I wasn't taken. I was on the queue. So when I landed, before I landed, I was made to pay accommodation, that is more like Airbnb, but they'll tell you start minimum of 3 nights. Then as you stay in one place, you start. So for me, what we did, we landed, we were staying in campus, but we were staying in the campus residence that were converted into like Airbnb for that time we came, because it was during the summer, school was not in session. So we're staying in the residence, but we're paying per night. First 3 nights, second 3 nights, then I had to move to the accommodation that I had been on the queue. That is the Peter Green Hall. So it was kind of expensive because it wasn't ready in the first 3 nights when we came. So we had to stay almost 2 weeks before we eventually got a place in Peter Green Hall, where my family and I stayed for the next 2 years while we were schooling. Now, the part I'm going to talk about again in this video is there's so many help. There's a lot of help that we have here for international students, but most times people don't access it because you don't know it's there. But I knew, because I had read a lot about the school, and I was always asking questions from your international center. For every university that takes international students, it's your hub. It's where you go to. Midnight, anytime, go there. They are willing to help you. Now, in the Atlantic region, for instance, there are smaller universities and medium size and then big. One big university was the Dalhousie University. Other universities worked with Dalhousie's International Center. So if you're for instance, you're in Arcadia, or you're in St. Mary's, or you are in King's University, you may feel like my international center doesn't exist. No, it does. They work with Dalhousie University's International Center, especially in the Atlantic region. Places like Ontario, Alberta may have individual universities, but the universities in this area that are much bigger, they have international students that serve their own students. I don't know if they have this catchment thing that Dalhousie has with the universities in the Atlantic, but that's what in my time. So you walk into those places and ask for help. For instance, coming in as a student with family, did you know that the gym, the facilities in the school, when you register as an international student, you pay maybe if gym was $20, you pay like maybe $22 because you are with family. So my children could use the gym while I'm also using the gym. There are bicycle facilities. There is food bank. Once you register as a student, coming to one of those the designated learning institutions, you are coming in with your family as students. So the day I go to food bank, I'm going with 4 backpacks, because they know this person is registered as a student with family. But when you don't do those things are there, but if you don't access them, you will just be going around in circles. So that's what I did. Secondly, thirdly, after getting admission, landing, staying in those hostels until I got my own subsidized admission residence for international students with children, I now started accessing the food bank, the gym, bicycle facilities. It was even for instance, the Black Center. We didn't all have laptops. So after school, my children go to the people there know these are Rita's children. They come in to use the computers in that place until when they close at 9 p.m. There was help everywhere. So coming in at international today, it doesn't change. It even gets better. So the onus you have is for you to ask questions. Don't just sit. Another thing that I realized also as international student was, as at that time, I was able to work about 20 hours a week. That's not going to take care. But today, as at last year, everything has changed. It's now 25 hours a week. So it means that if you have a child who is 18 years, they are not in university yet, maybe they are in high school. I think it's from 17 years actually. They can get work permits from when they land, just like when I landed. And your children can work any hours. But you, who is a student, who is the primary applicant or primary, for that, for the international student route, the person who is a student is the main resident. Or able to work now is 25 hours per week, sorry. So it makes sense. So if your child is in school now, your child may come in as an international student, as an individual, not with family, maybe a 21-year-old. You should know that the person has right to work 25 hours in a week. So I had a scenario. Why I'm saying this is because I had a former colleague whose son was here, a young man, and the father said, oh, he can't work. He says he can't work. I said, no. Every international student can work, especially when they're above 17. So guess what I told the dad? Get him to send you back a copy of his study permit. So remember, you get a study visa back home to come in. Then when you come in at the airport, you get your study permit. That study permit is what spells out your school, spells out the degree you're doing, spells out your tenure of your degree, the year, and spells out your working hours. You're entitled to it. So when the son is telling him, oh, daddy, I can't work, they're sending money. He said he was sending 3,000 as at 2014 every month to this boy. I asked him, I said, well, is that your only child? He said, no. I said, fine. So he eventually got the boy to send him that document, and he saw it there. He said, look, you can walk. If the boy was spanking his dad, I don't know, but eventually the boy, he told him, well, you need to work your accommodation, $600 a month. Per month for accommodation. You should be able to do that, even though you're reading. So for me, I'm just saying this because sometimes as young people, they come into the country, their parents are back home, contending with the exchange rates and all the methods of sending money, and the children are here and they're not even able to work, or they choose not to work because they know their dad and mom are sending money. But truly, there's those who come here and they work. Now, work, like I said, I'm saying all this for international students, particularly in this video. When the school starts from September to April ending, some schools might go into May, but officially school closes June, July, August, 3 straight months. In most schools, it's actually May, June, July, August. So 4 months your child can work during the summer. Serious work that will help them pay accommodation for at least September to when their school is ending in April again. Because I don't know what accommodation is right now, but I know some people are paying between 800, 900, 1,000, one depends on the facility. But again, there's also the resident. Resident is good, but it's quite pricey. Your child to be in school, staying in resident is quite pricey, but it's good because it's all part of the tuition. So the child doesn't need to bother every month. But of course, most schools, it's you pay your tuition per term, while others are liberal. You could pay in August. You come in school September up till May. They are not forcing you. You selected your classes for both winter and fall term. Good. But when you want to go back to your new year, academic year in September, you would need to pay down the tuition. Yeah. So some schools are not that liberal, while others are saying, you know what, pay every month. Let's us give you a payment plan. So when you come in with your 50% down payment for your tuition for that first year in school, you are going to be paying, that 50% covers you for maybe one term. The second 50%, like during winter term, you're paying in January, and they're giving you a payment plan, meaning they would split that tuition into this and this for the first 1 or 2 months, so that you are covered tuition wise, and then you are now getting ready for your new year when you complete your courses. So people, saying this out here because some parents are not as informed, because you have young people coming here. Some young people come here, or even some full-grown parents with family like me, like when I came, they are not asking questions. No, there's a way out. One thing I found out in Canada is they are kind of, the government or the country is so immigrant friendly, and they welcome people no matter the conditions, and they give you some comfort regarding financial pursuits, regarding when you're owing. Another thing I want to say in this video is that by the time you complete all your, if you're doing a 4-year course, I did a 2 years course, you finish your 2 years course. I'll give you an example of what happened in my time. So I was told that I needed to finish paying my tuition. If not, I will not be able to graduate with my peers. And I'm like, that's a lot, because I came with 3 children. They were already in secondary school, and 2 of them were going to university, or one, at least one. So if I don't pay, it means I don't graduate. So it means that I will fall out of status. It means I won't have a valid resident permit in this country. And so I walked up to Faculty of Graduate Studies. That's me, Rita. I don't take no for an answer. Someone told me that, oh no, you can't graduate, they won't let you, just finish your classes and you'll just be hanging loose. So I went to FGS and I said, so this is me, I'm doing this, I'm graduating, I'm supposed to finish my classwork. This was, they told me this in February, and I was supposed to finish my last class by April. So they said, oh no, you will finish your courses. In fact, you will get the graduating gown. The only thing is your patch, that patch that's given to you, the certificate, is going to be empty. While others have the degree certificate in there, I was like, who cares about the certificate? I'm already here. So yeah, so I graduated. So that day I was graduating, that my patch didn't have my degree in it, but I graduated. So that's what I'm saying here. You must ask questions. Don't just take people's talk. It's just old mother tales. The rules are changing every day, and they are getting better. That's one thing I give to Canada. The rules get, there are some countries you are in, they are changing the law that does not fit immigrants. No, Canada changes law that suits immigrants, that makes it easier. For instance, moving 20 hours a week to 25, that is fair. Removing the bottlenecks of overweighting in your embassy is fair. You understand? Giving you more stringent conditions to come in, so that it's only those who can afford to come and school here that comes in, which is fair. The country, a lot of people come in and they are stranded. The parents are not able to meet up with the exchange rate in countries like Nigeria, and so the children are here, they are suffering, they go out of status. Some get married just because they want paper, but hey, she's still out of status. You have the Canadian child, doesn't make her Canadian. you have a Canadian baby here, doesn't make you Canadian. And you still have to get your right. If the man is Canadian, marries you, yes, so you have to wait for those 4 to 5 years before you now get fully settled. Yeah, so people, I'm saying this here because I know that there are lots of changes that happened between when I came in 2016 and last year, and right now it's much easier. Yeah, like I said, there are going to be follow-up video to this. I'm going to be talking about living as internationals. I'm giving some talks here, some tips here, but living as intentionally as international students, coming down as international students. Yeah, so that will be my next video, and I'm hoping also that I will be able to add things like, so people, I'm going to leave it here for now, and hopefully this is helpful to somebody. Again, like I said, it's not about widowhood in this channel. It's a widow's might, it's a grateful journey, but it's not all about widowhood. It's about doing things yourself, finding help. Yeah, so I'll leave it here for now. Hopefully you go into my next video, and please, by all means, share this video. I would like you to subscribe and click the bell, so that when I post more, if one was beneficial to you, the second one may be beneficial to you. So the videos are like in series, they are in series. So please subscribe, share, like, and click the bell. This is the Widow's Mind, a grateful journey. Thank you.